The debate over who is the best lightsaber duelist in Star Wars, especially in canon, is one of the most heated topics in the fanbase. It's also one that's constantly evolving with brand new feats from comic books, TV shows, and movies. Whether new characters are introduced, or old characters accomplish something so inconceivable that you have to add them back on the list, or move them higher up on the list. But this raises the important question. A question we'll answer today. According to the Lucasfilm story group, who did they consider to be the best lightsaber duelist in Star Wars? Who in their mind is the greatest wielder of the lightsaber that we've seen in canon? And luckily, they did actually give an answer. However, it does lack an explanation. Personally though, I think this character's feats truly speak for themselves. Before we reveal who the best lightsaber duelist was in Star Wars canon, let's talk about some of the best duelists in canon that are not considered the greatest by the Lucasfilm story group, a lot of which may surprise you. First off, Mace Windu, according to the Lucasfilm story group, is not the best lightsaber duelist in Star Wars, despite being a master as a Jedi of Form 7 lightsaber combat, and tooling it into a new variation of the form known as Vapad, along with being one of the few Jedi to ever defeat Darth Sidious in blade-to-blade combat. The story group does not consider Mace Windu to be the best duelist. So what about one of the individuals that trained Mace Windu? What about Yoda? Well, the Lucasfilm story group also does not consider Yoda to be the best lightsaber duelist. He's clearly the most experienced of the Jedi, and individuals such as Darth Sidious and Dooku have both experienced fear when in the heat of a duel with Yoda. Besides Windu, he was the only Jedi of the era capable of coming into blade-to-blade combat with Darth Sidious, and many believe that he was the superior lightsaber duelist to Sidious. In the Revenge of the Sith novelization, Darth Sidious even chooses to put his lightsaber away in his duel with Yoda, falling back on his abilities within the Force, fearing that the gap of skill was simply too large between himself and Yoda, effectively admitting that Yoda is the superior duelist. Now let's move on to a different era. What about Luke Skywalker? Well, the Lucasfilm story group does not consider Luke Skywalker to be the best duelist in Star Wars canon. Luke Skywalker is massively impressive. He held his own with Darth Vader with minimal training on the planet of Bespin, and was even able to defeat Darth Vader in Return of the Jedi, debatably the greatest Jedi killer of all time. Luke is the son of the Chosen One, and his gifts in the Force are incredible, on the same level of his father, Anakin, who set the record in the Star Wars universe for the highest midichlorian count. So what about Anakin? Does the Lucasfilm story group consider Anakin Skywalker to be the best duelist in Star Wars canon? Again, no they do not. Anakin Skywalker is amazing. He was able to defeat an aged Dooku, only lost to Obi-Wan Kenobi on Mustafar because Obi-Wan was familiar with his lightsaber style, and was literally the individual that trained him. Many young Jedi, including Anakin himself, believed he was the superior fighter to both Windu and Yoda, only calling the Jedi Master Plo Koon his equal in blade-to-blade combat. But still, according to Lucasfilm, he is not considered the best duelist. But what about Dooku, Darth Tyranus, the individual who over the Clone Wars was debatably the best lightsaber wielder, an individual that held his own against the likes of Obi-Wan and Anakin on multiple occasions at the same time, and debatably was only defeated by Anakin Skywalker once he had aged and began to slow. In the Revenge of the Sith novelization, it makes it very clear that Dooku is in his twilight, and is no longer in his prime. So does this make him the best lightsaber duelist according to the Lucasfilm story group? A Sith Lord that specialized in lightsaber combat for decades, and a Sith Lord who, according to many, was very well the best lightsaber duelist in Star Wars. Well, my friends, Dooku is not considered to be the best lightsaber duelist according to Lucasfilm. At this point in the video, you may have guessed who is. Lucasfilm considers none other than Lord of the Sith Darth Vader to be the best lightsaber duelist in Star Wars canon. Specifically though, making it clear that Vader is considered the best lightsaber duelist in canon after his defeat at the hands of Obi-Wan on Mustafar. I don't think any of you are honestly really surprised by this answer. The being known prior as Anakin Skywalker was considered the most gifted being considered gifts of the Force in the entire Star Wars galaxy, or at least among the Jedi Order. Entities excluded, of course. For 2 decades as a Jedi Knight, Anakin Skywalker relied on these gifts and his superior skill to make up for his lack of work ethic. Many of his masters, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda included, believed that if Anakin truly worked hard and dedicated himself to becoming the most powerful Jedi ever, that his skills would have progressed much more rapidly. Instead though, Anakin was filled with conflict, trying to remain in the path of the light side of the Force while constantly hearing the songs of the dark side in his ear. Darth Vader though, has no such conflict, at least from Revenge of the Sith to Return of the Jedi. Darth Vader was forced to work on his blade-to-blade combat, as he could no longer solely rely on his superior skill with the blade. He was no longer the fastest, and his maneuverability was severely hampered by his new cybernetics. It is because of this though, that Vader worked and developed a brand new hybridized lightsaber form, a form that in his prime was insurmountable. He defeated the likes of Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi and toyed with his son Luke Skywalker, not to mention killed dozens of Jedi in single combat. His form was a variation on all of the lightsaber forms put into one. Although he still predominantly used Form 5 lightsaber combat, this hybridized style nearly completely made up for the lack of his mobility. His cybernetics made him stronger, his armor made him tougher to damage, and his iron will was one that had not been there when he was Anakin Skywalker. Darth Vader is the greatest lightsaber duelist according to Lucasfilm, and they dictate many of their stories based on this fact. But what are your thoughts on this, my friend? And what are your thoughts on this big reveal on who Lucasfilm considers to be the greatest lightsaber duelist in Star Wars? Do you agree or disagree with this sentiment? In your opinion, is Vader the best lightsaber duelist that Star Wars canon has to offer? As always, my friends, thank you guys so much for watching the channel. May the Force be with you, and have a great day.